Have you ever driven by money just sitting on the side of the road? I bet you have. I have, but I don't do it that often anymore. So when I see something like this sitting there, a washing machine, a fairly new one, front load, I'll bring it home. So, you know, every day you see on classified ads everywhere, someone's got a washer or a dryer or a fridge or a stove or something to give away. People often throw out an appliance, they don't know what's wrong with it, and they don't know what to do with it other than recycle the whole thing. So you can pick these things up. You can pick up washers, dryers. For instance, we got a gas range I picked up the other day for free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to part that out. You know, you don't have to be an appliance repairman to do what I'm going to do here. Basically, you know, if you can get something for free, bring it home, you know, plug it into power and try it. Usually I like to test the appliance before I, you know, take it apart. And that'll determine the amount that you can charge for the used pieces. Okay, if you've tested them, then you can verify that, yeah, it'll work in something else. And if it doesn't work, then you can say, well, I can part it out. You can take a chance on this, you know, and you sell the parts for a lot less. What I'm showing you here today is an old washing machine that I picked up for free. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it, see what's wrong with it. You know, it comes with no history, but I'm going to see if it turns on or what happens with it. And based on what I find out, I'm either going to see if I can fix it and resell it, or just part it out and sell the pieces. So to test a washing machine, the important thing to do is you got to put a Y here on your garden hose. And that way you can feed both the hot and the cold line into the washing machine so that pressure is in both of these systems. Now, so if you hook up just the cold water, you know, on either of these connections, sometimes the system isn't going to work. It's because what it is some of the settings in the washing machine are looking for hot water. Now, the washing machine has no way to determine the temperature of that water, but it does have a pressure sensor in the hot water line. So if you don't feed water to it, it's going to malfunction. So sometimes the machine will run a little bit, but then all of a sudden it'll reach a spot where, you know, the cycle is demanding hot water or warm water. And all that's saying is it's got to read pressure here. So if you feed the washing machine with a garden hose like this, all you got to do is put a Y in here. Yeah, and that way you feed both the hot and the cold systems with pressurized water. And then that's going to make sure that when there's a demand for water in the system, you know, if it's part of a cycle that involves warm or hot, you're still going to have pressure in those lines, and the machine is going to function as if there was hot water available. Okay, let's test this one here. We're going to turn on the water now. We've got this hooked up, hot and cold, to the cold water from the hose. And we got the drain here. We'll just put the drain under here. And we just got to hook it up to power, and we'll see if this thing works. Okay, so if you're going to test any appliances that run on 115, make sure that you plug them into an approved ground fault circuit interrupter to prevent electrocution, okay? Okay, we got the water on, we got a little leak there, I don't think it's any problem. So let's select a cycle here. Let's just go normal and water temperature. That's hot. It's hot, cold is selected. You can't, it might be hard to see that little light, but hot, cold is selected. Let's just try that. And let's just push and hold to start and see if this goes. Oh, I heard the door lock. And hear water going in through the soap dispenser. That's it. Well, that confirms right away that the motor's working, and so far this control circuit is working. Now these front load washers, they pause and then they wait and then they go one way a little while and then they stop, and so you'll see that happening here. That doesn't indicate a malfunction in any way. That's exactly how they're supposed to work. See, it turned one way, it stopped. See, now it's going to go the other way, and that's how it distributes the clothing. Yeah, the water's going in there pretty good. It's filling it up. So that looks like it's working. So I'll tell you that I've gone through most of the settings, and they all work, okay? So that wasn't the reason they got rid of it. The reason they got rid of it is down here on the front of the drum, there's a piece of plastic that goes around, and it's broken. See this piece here? See, it's broken here. So I don't know, it doesn't seem to be leaking underneath, but something got jammed in there during some cycle in its lifetime, and it broke that. And it looks like that's the only reason that they got rid of this machine. Cleaned up, you know, maybe that's not going to affect things. Maybe it'll work fine. I don't know. I haven't. Oh wait, now what's this? See, there's a piece of plastic there. See? I mean, you know, sometimes people will throw out appliances for hardly, you know, just that they're tired of it, or some little thing is wrong with it and they don't really understand, and they get rid of it. Sometimes, you know, and there's so many good parts. For example, on this machine, now we've confirmed that these controls work. These controls work. We've confirmed that the drum spins, that the motor works. Let's just unplug it here. And let's take a look inside. Let's just look under the cover here. Now, we know that it's working. Everything's working on this machine. So this electronic control panel in here, that's working. The fill sensor's working. The fill valves for hot and cold water, they're working. The soap dispenser's working. These hoses can be sold. We know that the motor works. So, I mean, there's probably $200 worth of parts that I can sell out of this machine that I got on the side of the road for nothing. And for very little effort, you know, just a few simple tests, you can determine whether the parts in here are good and if you can resell them. Even if you can't prove that everything works in these things, you know, if they're in good shape like this, you could take it apart and sell it, you know, for a discount price. Like, say none of this would start up. You could probably sell this board here for $25. Someone might take a chance that it's going to work, you know. Same thing with all the other components, you know. If you couldn't test anything, someone, you know, may still pay for that used component because, you know, the $25 compared to what, you know, this is probably $300 to buy that piece. But I mean, there's no need to say the whole thing has to go to the recycling bin just because you can't get it turned on. I mean, you can take these parts out, you know, and make a buck on them. Yeah, so that's just one of many tips to make a buck. There's other things on my channel, all sorts of things. I cover a broad range of automotive and home renovation items. Just, you know, look up near the top of the video. You'll see it right there. There's a little icon there. Just click on that and it'll show you other links to other videos that I've made. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.